What's good, everyone? This is Mr. Ben from Washington, D.C. All right, this is 8th grade math. Let's get it. All right, we only got really one major goal today. Here it is. It's solving word problems in scientific notation. We've been working on scientific notation. It's time to solve some problems with it. Before we get ahead and do that, we have to figure out which operation do we use in general when we solve problems. Could be like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. If we don't even know which operation to use, it's kind of hard to solve the problem. Okay, so here's an example with easier numbers to think about which operation to use. Kelvin has $5, Jasmine has $45. Think about which operation to use in this question. What is the combined total of Kelvin and Jasmine's net worth, or their money? The combined total, you might see it right away. Combined total is, that's right, we're talking about addition here. 5 and 45, you can add those up, $50. Next one. How many times greater is Jasmine's net worth, how much total money she has, than Kelvin's net worth? Let me say that again. How many times greater is Jasmine's net worth than Kelvin's net worth? How many times greater? Well, it looks like to go from 5 to 45, that would be 9 times greater. Another way to look at that is 45 divided by 5. That way, if you didn't know how to do it in your head, you could use division to see how many times greater Jasmine's net worth is than Kelvin's. So technically, we used division. You might think to yourself, but I multiplied by 9. Well, yeah, you only did that because the numbers were so easy. Think about it how many times greater is really useful to divide the two numbers when trying to find that multiple. All right, next one. Kelvin has 10 cousins who all have $5 also. What is their combined total? Okay, 10 cousins times 5. So it looks like we're multiplying here. So that's multiplication. You could even include Kelvin as part of the total. Maybe 11 people total times 5 for $55. All right, final one. How much more money does Jasmine have than Kelvin? How much more money does Jasmine have than Kelvin? Well, I'm trying to find the difference there. You might know from past work that difference means subtraction. Wow, I'm going to work on my spelling. Subtraction, there we go. And you might be able to just do that in your head. 45 minus 5, 40. All right. The key takeaway here is that depending on how a question is framed to you, how it's exposed to you, you have to decide which operation to use. And we're going to take that idea into scientific notation. So for our problem here, we're going to look at Rihanna. She's worth a certain amount of money. That means she's earned a certain amount of money overall. She's earned this much money. That is in the millions place, so $550 million. Okay? And we're going to compare her to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has a net worth of, we look at the place value. This is the billions. So $1,900,000,000. Now, we're going to be solving problems about these two people in scientific notation. So let's convert each number into scientific notation. First, we have to get the decimal right here for our leading digit. So it started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 5.5 times 10 to the 8th. That's for Rihanna. That's her net worth in scientific notation. Michael Jordan, we got to put the decimal here so that the leading digit is between 1 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1.9 times 10 to the 9th. These two numbers we're going to use throughout this assignment, these next two, one in particular. So that's Rihanna, that's MJ. Now we have both of their net worths in scientific notation. We're ready to solve some problems. Pause this, copy it down if you need it. Here we go. Some new ideas. The net worth of MJ is about how many times greater than the net worth of Rihanna? Okay? So first of all, this is why we did scientific notation. 1.9 times 10 to the 9th for MJ. for Rihanna. It was 5.5 times 10 to the 8th. Now, do I add these numbers? Do I subtract them? Do I multiply them? Do I divide them? This is where having an idea of what operation to use is really important. They're asking the net worth of MJ is about how many times greater than the net worth of Rihanna. Using what we did earlier, take a look. The operation with how many times greater, we really use division to find that multiple, the larger number on top, divided by that smaller one for how many times greater than. All right, so let's jump into it. How many times greater? Well, we need to do MJ divided by Rihanna. So that would be 1.9 times 10 to the 9th divided by Rihanna's amount, 5.5 times 10 to the 8th. Now, from a previous lesson, you might remember, I tried to change the color of this pen for this part. We can take this problem by doing the division of each part separately. First, if you put in 1.9 divided by 5.5 into a calculator, which you should, don't do that by hand. You have a calculator. You'll get a decimal. I already know that because the numerator is smaller than this denominator. 1.9 is smaller than 5.5. I put it in my calculator ahead of time. I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredths. 0.35. Cool. Times 10 to the, well, let's take a look. 10 to the 9th divided by 10 to the 8th. We know we can subtract the exponents. 9 minus 8 is 1. Oh, just the first power. That's just 10. So 0.35 times 10 to the first, or just 10. Move the decimal over once when you multiply by 10 to the first. And 3.5 is our answer. So the net worth of MJ is about how many times greater than the net worth of Rihanna? MJ's net worth is about 3.5 times that of Rihanna. All right, let's go to the next and final problem. Here we go. What is the combined total of MJ's and Rihanna's net worth? Combined total of their two worth. What do you think we're going to do? That's right, addition. You got to have that in mind in order to kind of set this problem up in the first place. So we got MJ's amount. So we got 1.9 times 10 to the 9th plus Rihanna's amount. I'll put MJ in parentheses. 5.5 times 10 to the 8th. And we're ready to add. Here's the thing when you're adding numbers in scientific notation. You can't add them unless these powers are the same. It's like saying 500 plus 300 is 800. You have to get this unit to be the same unit in order to add the numbers. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to drop MJ's power by 1. I'm going to do that by moving his decimal over. In other words, like multiplying by 10. So watch, I take MJ's number, multiply it by 10. That takes care of one of his powers, drop it by 1. I'm going to leave Rihanna's the same because hers is already in the power of 8. And now because they have the same unit, now I can add the 19 and the 5.5. Here's how people write this in math. They kind of like pull these two numbers out to the side. They write it like this. And then write times 10 to the 8th. Because remember, this label, this unit, is staying the same. All right, so 19 plus 5.5. Might be able to just do that in your head. If you can't do that in your head, you can always write that out like this on the side. Remember, line up your decimals when you're adding. 24.5 times 10 to the 8th. The label stays the same. Now that's our answer for their combined total. That's not our answer in scientific notation. They ask for scientific notation, you got to move that decimal over one place value and raise the power by 1. Because we need that leading digit, that in the first number to be between 1 and 10. That raises it up by 1. If they ask for the number in standard notation, well, then you take that decimal from here, see it's the 9th power, move it over 9 places. So I'll show you how to do that as our final thing. 1, 2, and then 7 more zeros. So that, and 7 more zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2,450,000,000 combined. You might have been able to solve this problem just using like the standard numbers I gave you to start this lesson for Rihanna and MJ, but this skill really is developed as you get more and more complicated with your scientific notation. These are 2 examples. Go back, review it. This activity, this lesson, looks a lot like the exit ticket for this lesson. All right, good luck. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. I'm counting on you.